A reading from Matthew 24, verses 42 through 44. Jesus says, "Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour." My brothers, sisters, fellow kingdom citizens, we are now in the season of Advent, a time of preparation, watchfulness, expectation. We wait, watch, pray, and hope for the coming of Jesus again into our world. Not so much for Jesus coming as a baby, because that has happened already, but more so for Jesus coming to signal the end of time. Big difference. The first time was another new beginning, a genesis of sorts, and this time is the end. And guess what? No one knows when, not even Jesus himself. Surprise, surprise, surprise. It is also a new year. Happy New Year. While a joyous occasion, a new year tends to be a time of reflection also. We are reflective and there are many questions. What will we do with this year? What have we done with the past year? Did we meet our goals? Did we fulfill purpose? How have we spent our time? Did we use our time wisely? Some of us may have, while the rest of us may have struggled to do so. Were we the light that we are? Did we shine? Are we shining? Or are we dimming? Are we just taking up space? Or are we transforming space? Do we know that our face is in the place to transform the space? Yes, say it with me. Your face, my face is in the place to transform the space. Yes, to influence and change the environment, to influence and change our communities positively and for the better. Do we know that we are influencers? Do we know that we are created not just to take up space? We are created and destined for more. We are created to live. We are created to thrive. We are created to shine. We are created to be. Today marks a new beginning. And because we are still here, we still got another chance at life, another chance at being. We got another chance to start fresh. Thank you, God, for a fresh start. Thank you, God, for a new beginning. Today I want to speak to us on being woke. And by woke, I mean we need to be aware. We need to be awake. We need to act. Advent calls us to be ready. That is, being aware, being awake, and ready to act. We need to be woke. To be woke means we are aware. We got to know. Jesus said, if the house owner knew, if the house owner was aware, he would have stayed awake and acted. The people in Noah's day did not know until the floods came. They knew nothing until it was too late. They were not aware. And I remind us that ignorance destroys. Advent can be considered a wake-up call. Have you ever had a wake-up call? Whether an actual call or just some shocking, life-changing news. For some of us, when there is a wake-up call, whether we know what the message is already, because we're expecting it, or whether we just have a feeling because of the time of the call. Yeah, because of the timing. What we couldn't do in many moons, we now jump right into it. We immediately make changes, drastic changes to our lifestyle. My brothers, sisters, fellow kingdom citizens, we got to be aware. We got to know it's not okay for light to be in the dark. We got to know. We got to be aware. To be woke means we are awake. Wake up. Wake from sleep. The question is, are we still asleep? Paul says, wake from sleep and put on the armor of light. In other words, wake from sleep and act. When we are asleep, it implies we are missing in action. We are MIA. And hence, we are not fulfilling purpose and destiny. Are we sleepwalking? Because we can be doing everything as usual, but be very much fast asleep. Yes, eyes wide open, but not woke. I remind us that sleepwalking is not only dangerous to you, but for everybody else around you. While Paul says awake from sleep, Jesus takes it further. Stay awake. Not only are we to wake from sleep, we are to stay woke. And even as I speak of us being called to awake from sleep, some garden incidents, some garden situations come to mind. Remember the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus is going through a very heavy, trying, and stressful time? The account states that his sweat became as drops of blood, which is indicative of an extremely high level of stress for him. A time when he gave serious thought to cancel destiny. Let this cup pass from me. That, my brothers, sisters, fellow kingdom citizens, would have negatively affected all of humanity. Because if he had done so, if Jesus had stopped at let this cup pass from me, he would have repeated what the first physical Adam did in another garden, Eden. Rebellion, total refusal and rejection of God's kingdom reign, total rejection and refusal of God's kingdom rule in our lives here in the earth. Also, an abandonment and rejection of purpose and destiny. When God asks Adam the question, it is both a question of accountability and responsibility. Adam, where are you? What have you done? And I guess we can say God had an OMG moment. Okay, seriously. God understood the big picture. It was not just Adam who was out of position. It is not just Adam whose destiny is affected and impacted, but all of humanity. Where are you? What have you done? But in this new Genesis, this beginning again, Jesus couldn't and didn't. Not my will, but your will be done. Jesus, as the second Adam, who is also the original Adam, because before Adam was, here Jesus, I am. Oh yes, he created Adam. He couldn't. When Jesus returns to the disciples, he asks another question of accountability and responsibility. Could you not stay awake? Could you not watch? Before he had left them to go off and pray by himself, he had told them of his heaviness, his struggle, and had asked Peter, James, and John to stay awake with him, journey with him, be there with him. That was their purpose in the garden. But they just could not keep their eyes open. They could not stay awake. And this would happen several times. Could you not watch? Of course, they are embarrassed. Then Jesus tells them, stay awake. Stay alert. Be in prayer so you don't wander into temptation without even knowing you're in danger. Wow. Stay awake because the enemy is seeking out whom he may devour. Stay awake because the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. While the disciples slept, Jesus was struggling with fulfillment of purpose. Yes, he was struggling. He was struggling with the process where Jesus, bearing and becoming sin for all humanity and experiencing death on the cross, will become disconnected from Abba. Disconnected so that we, his other brothers and sisters, can become reconnected. And his resurrection opens the way for us to return to our source, to return to kingdom. The brothers were to watch and pray with him on this journey, but they couldn't keep their eyes open. Can I say to us that now is not the time to fall asleep? Now is not the time for embarrassment. Now is the time to fulfill purpose and destiny, because lives are depending on it. Now is the time to be awake. Now is the time to be woke. To be woke means to act. When? Now. How do we live our lives passionately? How do we live our lives intentionally and with purpose? How do we live woke lives that make a difference? Can I suggest to you that living the kingdom life is to be awake, to stay awake, to be woke? To act means we must recognize the urgency of now, this moment, today, not tomorrow, and do what we need to do now. Mr. Marley puts it this way: we must wake up and live. Hence, we must use our time wisely. Paul says we know what time it is, how it is time to wake from sleep. How have we been handling our 24/7s? Have we been wasting our most valuable commodity, our most valuable asset? Have we also given others permission to waste it? If so, stop that. Our time is too valuable and waits for no one. When it's gone and cannot be gotten back. God has given all of humanity the same common currency of time. We all have the same amount. But what sets us apart is how we spend it, how we use it. Let's not take time for granted. Let's be grateful that we have this opportunity. Let's be grateful we have this time. Let's decide to make the hours work for us, not against us. For we can still become, we can still be. My brothers, sisters, fellow kingdom citizens, to act means to be the light we are. We are light. Are we shining? Have our lights been dimmed? Have our lights gone out? We are encouraged to cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. Jesus came as the light of the world. Indeed, the people who walk in darkness have seen a great light. But that same light, who is also the Word who became flesh, who created all that is, yet they did not know him. They remained in darkness still. Jesus then told the disciples, and I believe it was for them then and it's for us now: you are the light of the world. Let your light shine, yes, in the dark parts, in the dark systems, wherever injustice and oppression reigns. Let your light shine. Let your light shine so that they may see your good works and give God the glory. Yes, when we shining and not dimming, when we standing up and speaking truth to power, when we are being light, that is kingdom living. That is life in the kingdom. That is living as God originally designed and intended us to live. That, my brothers, sisters, fellow kingdom citizens, is being connected. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel. A city that is set on the hill cannot be hid. When we shine in, everyone will see the light and be pointed to the source, God. They will give God the glory because you shining. That is being woke. Being light in our world that is presently filled with darkness, we are saying, I know a better way. Hey, I know a better way. And that way is life in the kingdom, living as God originally designed and intended. It is unquestionably, undeniably better. Why? Because that is where we belong. That is where we came from, and nowhere else fits. We came from kingdom. We came from God. In this season of Advent, I believe that we too are in a garden situation right now. The sacred spaces of our lives, gardens where major life-changing decisions are made, decisions that affect destiny, decisions that take us away from destiny, decisions that bring us back to destiny. And so I ask, where are we? What have we done? Could we not watch? Could we not stay awake? Are we still sleeping? Can we imagine all the persons who may be losing their way, losing their lives because we ain't shining? Can you imagine? My brothers, sisters, fellow kingdom citizens, at this time in our lives, in our world, we can't afford to be sleeping. We can't afford to be sleepwalking. We don't have time for that. Come, let us walk in the light of the Lord, for God cannot and will not disappoint. We got to wake up. We got to wake up and live. We got to rise up and be. My brothers, sisters, fellow kingdom citizens, we got to be woke.